Liverpool are officially out of the Premier League title race, at least as far as I'm concerned. Welcome back to the Football Tribe YouTube channel. Robert Kesakos is my name. Liverpool did suffer a 2-0 defeat at the hands of one of their greatest rivals in football history as they lost by 2-0 against Everton in the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. What an incredible game of football to watch. I had hinted about this in my mini preview during the review of Arsenal's 5-0 victory over Chelsea that if you are interested in who wins the Premier League title race on Wednesday night, this was the game for you to watch. Commiserations for Liverpool and perhaps jubilations or subtle happiness for their rivals in Arsenal and Manchester City, who are embroidered in this season's Premier League title race. Mathematically, yes, they are still in it, but I do think on paper they are out of it if we are to weigh all sides. Like I did say some time back that Arsenal and Liverpool had literally handed the title over to Manchester City by a miracle. Well, Liverpool may need more than just a miracle if they are to get themselves back into the Premier League title race, because now they are 3 points behind Arsenal, while Manchester City, who they are still ahead of, do have 2 games in hand to play. One of them coming tonight against Brighton and Hove Albion. Personally, I do think that Manchester City will beat up against Brighton and Hove Albion tonight and, close down that gap, and they will beat up against Nottingham Forest over the weekend. So clearly, it will take more than just a miracle if Liverpool were to get back into the Premier League title race, especially considering it's just 4 games left to play for Liverpool and Arsenal and 5 for Manchester City. What an incredible game of football it was yesterday. Gerard Braithwaite, the Everton defender there, finding the back of the net, as well as their striker, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, rising the highest to score a header against Alisson Ramsey-Baker there to make it 2-0 for the Toffees. Of course, we had seen there was a potential penalty and a yellow card that had been given to Alisson Ramsey-Baker, who had fouled Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he got the chance at goal, but because he had been offside in the build-up, all that was put to bed thanks to VAR. Before VAR, that could have been easily a dubious penalty given, but it was corrected and the yellow card was removed. But that did not stop Sean Dyche to inspire his side to a 2-0 victory against their biggest rivals in Liverpool. What a sad story it will be for Liverpool and Liverpool fans as they see out one of the greatest ever managers in Jurgen Klopp, because this season at some point they were chasing a quadruple. They went on to win one, that was the Carabao Cup, but were knocked out of the FA Cup at the hands of their other rivals in Manchester United and were blown out of the water by Atlanta, who beat them 3-1 on aggregate to knock them out of the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League. In the Premier League, again, it's been their rivals that has further dented their title hopes for this particular season, as we will see in the table standings subsequently. But I thought it was an incredible game. Of course, Liverpool had their chances. They threw everything they had in their armor at Everton, but could not find a breakthrough, including Luis Diaz hitting the upright. Darwin Núñez had missed a keeper to beat on the other side when Jordan Pickford rose to the occasion to save that one, just as much as Mo Salah when the opportunity fell to him. So clearly, it's not that Liverpool did not put in quite the shift, but they just couldn't find their way through against their rivals. And by the way, Arsenal fans, before you get any sort of false excitement about this, remember, you're up next on Sunday playing against your biggest London rivals in Tottenham on Super Sunday. That game will come your way at 4 p.m. East African time. But the story doesn't end there. In the other 3 games that you still have to play, you don't have to go to Old Trafford and play Manchester United, and you do play Everton on the final day of the Premier League. Everton that has just beaten Liverpool to dent their title chances. Well, if you think you have your bases covered, think about that before you celebrate too much, before you dwell too much in that Liverpool loss. Personally, I do think that Manchester City will go on to be perfect, that they won't falter, and they will win the Premier League title. For now, Arsenal are just trying to keep up the pressure. Yes, they did win incredibly on Tuesday night, and they have another tough fixture on Sunday, which they could go on and win. But the other food for thought is that Tottenham is the other standing team between all the 3 Premier League title contenders, because Tottenham do have to play Arsenal, they will play Manchester City, and they will play Liverpool in the running as we lock down the end of the season. Otherwise, let me know what your thoughts were on that particular fixture, but I did think it was quite very entertaining. Liverpool did not take their chances, and they were punished for that. On the same day, Wolves did lose to AFC Bournemouth, Antoine Semenyo scoring the only goal of the game in that fixture. Yes, Wolves, I did feel that they were robbed in this particular fixture. Wang Hee-chan had come off the bench to score what would have turned out to be the equalizer, but that goal was ruled out by VAR, not because there was an incident involving, I think, Matheus Cunha in the build-up to that goal. He did, I think, rub his hand in an FC Bournemouth player, which I thought it was sort of a minor incident, that it happened long before the goal. There were other moments there before that ball is floated in by Nelson Semedo, and it is headed home by Wang Hee-chan. So clearly, I felt that Wolves were hard done by on the day. Yes, they were not good. They didn't play their best football yesterday. I thought Bournemouth dominated most of their affairs. I thought Bournemouth had the best chances of the game, although it was still 1-0. But I did think that they were robbed, having that goal cancelled. So it finished 1-0 for Bournemouth against Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Morini Stadium. This, of course, was contrary to what my prediction had been, that Wolves could have nicked this one. In the other game, Joan Philippe Mateta scored a brace as Crystal Palace beat up against Newcastle by 2-0. This is another huge victory for Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace there, because they did beat up against West Ham by 5-2 over the weekend. The other weekend, previously, they had beaten up against Liverpool by 0-0. Now they are here beating Newcastle convincingly well by 2-0. Looks like things are starting to click there for the 2022 Europa League champion in manager Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace there. So, and then the other game, of course, was between Manchester United and the relegation threatened Sheffield United. For me personally, I do not think they still have a chance in as far as staying in the Premier League is concerned. I think they are officially out of it. They have been for quite a long time now. We have known that, but they did give Manchester United a bit of a headache or something to think about, because they did find the back of the net first in the 35th minute through one of their better players in Jayden Bogo, who opened the scoring of the game in this one. But then Harry Maguire did score to level that one. Of course, it was Alejandro Garnacho providing the assist for that one. And then they went on to score again to make it 2-1. This was Sheffield United at the Old Trafford through Brereton Diaz there, who scored to make it 2-1 in the 50th minute. But of course, United did receive a penalty in the 61st minute, and it was converted by their captain Bruno Fernandes, who scored a brace yesterday as his side won by 4 goals to 2. Of course, in the 81st minute, he did score his second goal of the night, Kobe Mino providing the assist on that occasion, and then went on to provide, turn provider for Rasmus Højlund as he sealed the victory for Manchester United just 4 minutes after Bruno Fernandes had found the difference on the night. So very entertaining game of football. Again, one of those games that you felt that had Manchester United on fans on the edges of their seats, especially considering that they had gone down twice in the game. They were susceptible to losing, but they did fight back into the game and of course managed to win this particular fixture to send them to 53 points. So following those results from yesterday, and like I did mention, Manchester City are in action tonight at 10 p.m. against Brighton and Hove Albion. Here is a quick look at the Premier League table standings. Arsenal do lead the pile with 77 points after 34 games. Liverpool just 3 points behind them at 74 after playing a similar number of games. Manchester City, who have 2 games in hand because they have only played 32 games, come in third place on 73 points. Should Manchester City win those 2 games, then it will send them to 79 points and 2 points ahead of their title rivals in Arsenal. That's why I say the title is in Manchester City's hands. It is at the Etihad, waiting for their name to be inked on once again for the 4th time in a row that they are the Premier League champions again this season. And then, of course, in 4th place is Aston Villa with 66 points after 34 games, while Tottenham Hotspurs, who have played 2 games less, they have played 32 games, in 5th place with 60 points. Manchester United come there 7 points behind Spurs at 53 points in 6th place. Newcastle, who did lose to Crystal Palace yesterday, in 7th with 50 points, while West Ham United at 48 points in 8th place. Chelsea in 9th place, and they also do have 2 games in hand. They are at 47 points. That's why I keep saying, should Chelsea win those 2 games in hand, it could bring them closer to Manchester United or even level on points, because Chelsea, by the way, have a better goal difference of 4 as compared to Manchester United is only 1. And then Bournemouth, following that victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers, moved to 45 points there in 10th place. In 11th place have been sort of struggling Brighton and Hove Albion, who have had a difficult season, so to speak, with 44 points. 43 points for Wolverhampton Wanderers in 12th place, while Fulham are in 13th place with 42 points. Crystal Palace at 39 points, there in 14th place, while 15th place is occupied by Brentford. They've been in 15th for as long as I can remember, but they are 35 points. And in 16th place are Everton with 33 points, following that huge victory against their rivals in Liverpool. Nottingham Forest on 26 points, while the bottom 3 are Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United at 25, 23, and 16 points respectively. So that's it. Those are the Premier League table standings. Do let me know what your thoughts are. Who do you think will win the Premier League title? Personally, I had predicted that Arsenal would win the Premier League title this season, but it looks like I got it wrong. Well, not. We are here to find out. Yes, there's still a few games to play, but I can only hope for, if my prediction is to stand, is that Manchester City falter and then Arsenal be perfect in their remaining 4 games. But we'll wait to see how everything transpires. Otherwise, stay blessed and have the rest of a wonderful week and drive into the weekend. Do not forget to comment, to share, like, and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to grow our community here on Football Tribe. Stay blessed.